Death on Clare Island, Chapter 8, Part A. Trudging out of bed at the sound of the 7 o'clock alarm, I slipped into baggy sweatpants and an ancient gray sweatshirt. I'd slept in brief snatches interrupted by long periods of wakefulness in anticipation of my meeting with Raymond Nolan. Glimpsing the picture of my dog Skipper that I kept on the dresser did nothing to revitalize my energy. Instead, my stomach tightened with pangs of guilt. My Belgium Skipper key stayed with friends back in the New Jersey town of Ridgewood. I'd call them later to check on him. Rounding the gable of the house for my morning walk, I collided with a strong wind. This lifted my mood and gave me a reason to grin. With my body bent forward and my hair blown back, I imagined Kathy haunting the moors and fields in search of Heathcliff. I had the road to myself as I approached the ruin of an abandoned one-room stone cottage. Sitting high in a field surrounded by tall grass and thorn bushes, the house fascinated me. Gazing up at the open doorway, I wondered how long it had been there and what had happened to its occupants. I developed the habit of climbing over the fence and walking up to the house each morning. When I neared it, I peered through one of the broken windows and imagined the family that once called it home. The children's heads bent over books, the father in front of the fireplace, a border collie lying at his feet, and the mother stepping around a table as she set out the evening meal. Is this what my mother had known? Is that why she'd cried when she didn't think I overheard her? Had she missed her family? As I turned away from the imaginary scene inside the house to look down over the fields, a blur of moment caught my attention. I thought I'd been alone. Looking more closely, I glimpsed a fox's red tail as the animal made a hasty retreat over the fence and into the bushes. Feeling rested after my walk and a shower, I drove into Castle Bar to see Aunt Georgina. Ignoring Main Street, I zipped the car around to the parish church's parking lot and hoofed it to the Golden Thread. Georgina was busy showing a customer the new fall line of business suits as I stepped inside. I headed for the back of the store and brewed a peppermint tea. Aunt Georgina's head appeared from behind a rack moments later. "I'll have coffee black," she said. "Let me take care of this woman's purchases and I'll be right with you." While I busied myself making the coffee, I picked up the tinkle of the bell over Georgina's front door. Now that her customer had gone, she was able to join me. "What brings you into town this early in the morning?" she asked. "Aren't you supposed to be making calls regarding your mother?" "Have you forgotten? I had dinner with Bridget Sumner last night," I told her. "I've agreed to talk to some of Matthew's friends and fiance for her." I sipped the piping hot tea. "Star, I'm so happy to hear you say that. I knew you'd do the right thing." She sampled the coffee and nodded her approval. "And you're getting better at making this." "It's not a matter of right or wrong, Aunt Georgina. I'm annoyed that the police didn't take more time to investigate what happened. There was a teenager involved. Her name is Lucia, and she used to hang out with Matthew on the island. If he was a drug user, wouldn't the police have wanted to ask her some questions? But they didn't. So what can I do to help?" "Well, I want to begin with some of the people Matthew worked with. Bridget mentioned an organization called Save the People. I understand that Raymond Nolan heads it up. Is that correct?" "Raymond Owen Nolan. He founded Save the People about 8 years ago." "What do you know about it?" "It's one of the most well-known nonprofits in the west of Ireland. Raymond's done a wonderful job developing counseling and support services for anyone who has a dependency, whether it's drugs or alcohol." "Drugs. That sounds like a good place to start." "Star, Be careful how you approach Raymond Nolan. He's totally dedicated to his crusade. He won't entertain any hint that Matthew's death or the drugs found on his body are connected with Save the People. I'll be tactful, Aunt Georgina. What can you tell me about Nolan himself? His family has lived in the area for years. They come from a parish called Prison. I rolled my eyes at the inscrutable names that the Irish have for their villages and towns. From my reading, I learned that Irish parishes, the lowest denomination of government, began when England created workhouses for the poor. Obsolete now from a public administration perspective, the parish names remain and continue to be used. Nolan's the oldest of four, Georgina went on. He won a scholarship to Trinity College as a medical student. While he was in Dublin, his youngest sister came to live with them. This was when she started university as a music student. Georgina shook her head. Somehow, she got involved in the drug scene and died of an overdose. Raymond blamed himself. He thought he should have recognized the danger signs, especially with his medical training. He dropped out of school and started the foundation here in Castlebar. It's an obsession for him. Georgina stirred sugar into her coffee, which made me suspect her comment about the improvement in my brewing skills. I suppose he'd want to be helpful since getting to the bottom of this, I said, would clear the foundation of any hint of wrongdoing. Can I use your phone to call him? Sure. She glanced at her watch as she gestured towards the phone with her right hand. Lord, look at the time. I've got an appointment at the other end of town. I'll talk to you later, Star. And then she disappeared through the shop door.